See, brothers, I wanted to do this video because these things hit me in regards to certain things I look at just when it comes to information, research. So I was looking at the psychopomp and different aspects that's associated with it when it comes to the animals, the totemic animals, and the bear. That's one of the totemic animals. The psychopomp represents a spiritual guide. That's what it represents. Our spiritual God is the Most High. It should not be no psychopomp or no false god. And when it comes to the understanding, it goes back to the Greek mythology, the left-hand side, Greek myth comics. That's what it goes back to. So you see this bear right here because the bear is a totemic animal, a rare sort of psychopomp. Kanye West was associated with the bear early on in his career because it represented, his initial pace when it comes to him going through the understanding, the elevation process, where he starts off as a college dropout, and then he goes into late registration, and then he goes into graduation because they represent the paces. Drops out of college, and now I want to initiate myself into the craft, into the Luciferian world. But I was late. But based off of what I was willing to do, going from this direction to another direction, which is what the psychopomp does, I was able to elevate and graduate. This is why after graduation, what happened? His mother was sacrificed. And that's obvious. That's blatant. That's already told from him. His mom was sacrificed. I did a video on that where he said it himself. Coming out the horse's mouth. This is why you cannot call me a conspiracy theorist, because they let you know time and time again. But the psychopomp, the bear that was associated with Kanye West, that's what it represented. The psychopomp. Once again, you go from college dropout to late registration to graduation. Graduation represented him elevating, him reaching that degree. Graduation, right? That's why the bear was associated with Kanye West. And notice afterwards, you didn't see the bear anymore because the bear acted as a guide. That's what it acted as, going from one direction to another until he was able to graduate and elevate himself into a different realm. And, we already understand what took place. Like I said, his mother was sacrificed right after that album. This right here is just an illustrational image that represents the psychopomp. That gives you an understanding of what a psychopomp is. And it pretty much, sums up what I was saying about Kanye West and how he pretty much completed that after graduation. You no longer see him with the psychopomp, right? It's the same sentiment here in this image. I've done my duties, Paddington. Please take me to my husband. The quote unquote Paddington acts as a spiritual guide, the psychopomp. That's what this image here conveys when it comes to the sentiment. So this right here represents the start of the process where he drops out of college. So it's like, okay, what's in store for me? Where am I going? What's next for me? This is why on the cover, he looks like he's downtrodden or what have you. Late registration. This is representative of what he's had to go through in regards to, the trauma and the hardship that comes with trying to make it into the entertainment industry. When I say trauma, I'm not even talking about the MK Ultra aspect. Just certain things that he had to undergo when it comes to, the crash and just the hustle and bustle of him trying to make it into the entertainment industry. Late registration. And mind you, he goes through the doors. The doors represent twin pillars. That's what it represents. And then he has the light shining on him. He's enlightened, but he hasn't reached that 33rd degree yet. He hasn't taken off. He hasn't taken off. Code word, take off. As you see right here, Kanye West's third album, Graduation, getting shot out of some sort of beam. But you see on the right-hand corner, down on the bottom there, you see the eye. You see that right there, the eye? Representing the understanding when it comes to Kanye West's alignment with the craft or quote-unquote Luciferian, Illuminati, whatever you want to refer to it as. It's all under the same umbrella. It's all left-handed. Kanye West is not someone who's a saint. He's not a saint. But he's inspirational when it comes to his talents, his artistry, his creativity, so on and so forth. One of the greatest artists of the 21st century, Mr. Kanye West. But at the same time, when it comes to the conveyance, this is all based in, the Masonic understanding, going through the paces, the Psychopomp, which is the totemic animal associated with certain celebrities, totemic animals such as the bear or the dog or a bird, so on and so forth. Like the owl being associated with Drake, not only is that, going into Minerva, but it also goes into the Psychopomp. The dog is also associated with Drake, which is twofold because that's an allusion to Anubis or Anubis, however you want to pronounce it. You have certain animals that's associated with these artists because they act as psychopomps. They're totemic animals. And in this case, this was more so like a mascot, but they're supposed to represent the totemic aspect. They're supposed to represent the psychopomp. Here you see Drake with his dog. This dog right here, they say his name is Diamond. We know Diamond goes back to the ancient understanding when it comes to the pagan gods and goddesses, particularly the goddesses. The diamond aspect being associated with Sybil. And the dog, like I said, it represents Anubis, and it's also the Psychopomp. As you can see right here, Mr. Aubrey Graham let you know what he's associated with when it comes to the Psychopomp aspect, as well as, what some may suspect to be his weird proclivities, because the entertainment industry is weirder than weird. They're into zoophilia, pedophilia, pansexuality, so on and so forth. I remember I did a video where you heard the audio of a dog where it sounded like he was being raped or something, just being honest. So all of this stuff just lets you know, especially in these days, that things are coming to the fore slowly but surely. A lot of them boys you entertain wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me, so don't forget to wish me a happy birthday, happy Father's Day, June 18th. Mr. Drake. And look at that tattoo on his arm there. That's a tattoo of LeBron James. This dude right here, man. Just weird. Like, what would possess you to get a tattoo of another man? And LeBron James? Like, for what? Oh, man. Once again, Drake with the dog. Just showing this to accentuate the understanding when it comes to what we see beyond the surface. Because obviously, some people may say, oh, you can't just like dogs. Listen, it's more than meets the eye when it comes to these entertainers and what they associate themselves with. It's more than meets the eye. So yeah, Drake, he may love dogs, but we know that there's more to it when it comes to the affinity, the alignment, the understanding esoterically. All these concepts are pretty much aligned with the entertainment industry. Just when it comes to the psychopomp, the Greek philosophies, the ancient pagan philosophies, the tactics, going back to think tanks and the Hegelian dialectic and all these different orchestrated events, which go back to ancient history. That's all a part of the entertainment industry. The reason why I have to say it is because these things continue to resurface, and it's important to cover it and be redundant about it, because we want to maintain that understanding of what this really is, as opposed to what we think or what we've been, fed, just in terms of this illusion that we've been impressed upon. The entertainment industry is a dark, nasty place, and it's full of evil people, demonic people with talent, and some of them without talent. But for the most part, you got to give it up to the talented aspect of what they do, but should never want to be a part of that world. Here's the late Earl Simmons, also known as Dogman X or Darkman X. And it's both an allusion to the same thing, the same entity when it comes to Dogman X and Darkman X. Because Anubis, which is the dog god, is also associated with the dark man, that being Osiris. So DMX was someone who was a Luciferian, and he always tried to rebel against it, but he couldn't, because at the end of the day, You sign that contract, it's over. It's over. It just is what it is. But DMX was also associated with a dog. The dog was a psychopomp for DMX. That's what the totemic animal was for Mr. DMX. Now, most of these artists, they're given fake names. Part of that is because these artists are controlled by the government, as well as the fact that it goes into their programming. So, like Katy Perry, that's not her real name. But Katy Perry is an allusion to Kitty Purry, the cat. Same thing with Doja Cat. She is a sex kitten. When it comes to the understanding of MK Ultra, you have beta male sex kittens or beta male sex slaves and female sex kittens. They're sex slaves. That's what they are. In the entertainment industry, all these people are sex slaves. They are. Allegedly, but they are. And that's just necessary to say. But when it comes to what we understand in the year 2024, it shouldn't be a surprise. Doja Cat, that's an allusion to her cat Alter as a sex kitten program asset. And the totemic animal associated with her, obviously, is the cat. And you see her dressed up as a cat at some sort of Met Gala, which was, I think, inspired by Karl Lagerfeld or something like that. Just based off of what I researched years ago, because I think this was like 2 years ago. So